Good morning. Welcome to Liberated Yoga's special edition of Yoga Dance. I'm not going to turn on music and let everybody just have a free-for-all. It will be a yoga class, but borrowing some of the modalities from the dance, where we try different shapes and movements to improve our proprioception, or the way we sense our body. You would be surprised at how distorted and inaccurate sometimes we perceive our own body. And I see this as a yoga teacher all the time in group classes. I would be cueing something, straighten your leg or reach your right arm, and there will always be some miscommunication between what you hear and what your body actually does as you try and translate those cues into physical expression. So we will begin our class today standing, do a little warm up, and then try and move in fluid and new and subtle ways to improve the way we feel our body. Yeah? So let's come on up to standing. And do some easy shoulder shrugs up, back, and down to warm up the shoulders. Get a feel for the tension sometimes we collect in the upper body. Do a few head movements side to side. And just a down and side without dropping the head back. Now, as you do this maybe several times, shoulder shrugs, and head movement, begin to lengthen your exhale so that your nervous system, your mind, and your body start to connect by this attention to the breath with each other, and you're opening up the lines of communication. Yeah. Continue doing this as I figure out the right distance for the camera here. Yeah. Side to side with the head. Long exhale as you feel around the neck and shoulder area. And then we also massage. Take your hands, rub them together, and massage your neck and shoulders, everything you can easily reach. And through this touch, you can really create extra sensations that will help you then later have better neck and shoulder alignment. So part of the class today we'll be talking about the posture and what good posture is. And what often happens is our head comes forward and our shoulders slump and our pelvis drifts forward, and you get this kind of a bad posture happening. So in order to get a better feel for neck alignment, we need to release a little bit of tension there. Yeah? Once you feel a little bit better, at least in the way you feel the neck, yeah. Long exhalations. We'll add easy arm movements overhead. So relax your arms down your sides, and then inhale as you reach up. Bring the arms up by your ears, but without rounding the spine. And then exhale, bring the arms back down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach down. And notice at which point as your arms go up, maybe this starts to happen. The pelvis drifting forward and the upper back starting to round. Bring your arms only as much overhead, even if you have to stop somewhere partway there, where you feel your pelvis is still in neutral, still making a straight line from ear to shoulder to hip to ankle. Yeah? A couple of more, making mental observations about what simple arm movement does to our posture. And let's add heel raises to this. Just with the hands on the hips, up and down on the balls of the feet a few times. And as you do this, again, notice if you're tucking or rounding or in any way trying to compensate a lack of balance with adjustment to your posture. So engage your core a little bit as you come up on the balls of the feet so that your shoulders stay back, chest stays open, knees are soft so they're not locked and hyperextended back. Good. And then to fire up our knees a little bit, see if you can lift the heels, bending the knees without changing the level of your body. So if before when we were coming up on the balls of the feet, we were raising the level of the body, we were becoming taller. Now see if you can keep your height the same and bending the knees, balance on the balls of the feet. Just kind of roll up into the balls of the feet, keeping the pelvis neutral. And again, notice if you tend to tuck the pelvis under or lean forward from the hips, try and keep your hips and shoulders aligned. Yeah? Up on the balls of the feet, just bending the knees, but keeping the level of the body, the height of you, the same. A little rest, folding forward. Bend the knees generously. Support yourself as you're coming down along the fronts of the legs and then hang the head. So let's relax everything. While you massage your legs, let the head hang. Let the shoulders hang. And then when you're ready, walk your hands up the legs to roll up. And let's have our legs wide apart for a little bit more warm up. With a simple lateral, traveling down the side of the leg. On the inhale, reach the other arm up and over by the ear. On the exhale, come center. Let's do a few of these to each side, lengthening, creating a nice even arc from hand through side to the foot, and staying in a lateral plane, imagining that we have our back against the wall. And we have our shoulder blades slide on the wall. Both shoulder blades stay up on the wall. Yeah? One more side to side. And then coming center. Let's micro bend our knees a little bit. This will allow us to tell if our lower body is drifting around as we're doing upper body twist. So just a little bit of a bend in the knee. And then we'll have our arms out in front like we're holding a giant beach ball. And we're putting the beach ball right on our rib cage. So it's not too high up on the chest. It's kind of right on the lower ribs. This will allow your shoulder blades to anchor down. And then as you exhale, engage your core as you twist and look over the shoulder and that direction. Inhale, center, exhale, twist and look. And as you're twisting on the exhale with the core engagement, now make sure that you're twisting at this lower rib level and your knees and legs are not drifting with you. I'm exaggerating what happens. Not that it's bad necessarily, but we do want to create body awareness of this for disassociation of rib cage, of upper body from the lower body. Yeah? Inhaling center. Exhaling as we twist and look. Inhaling center. Exhaling as we twist and look. Maybe a couple of more to get a good understanding of how this is happening. And then another forward fold with the legs apart. Again, bend the knees quite a bit. So when you hinge forward, it's comfortable to hang. Massage the legs as your head and shoulders relax. And then rolling up. We'll incorporate this into what we started on earlier. Ready? So as you stand tall, lift the heels. This time, try not to lift them too high. Just enough so that you balance on the balls of the feet a little bit. And have the arms again holding your imaginary giant beach ball. And then as you exhale with the zip, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Disassociating the rib cage while keeping the pelvis square, stable, and balancing on the balls of the feet. Yeah? So this is really challenging, especially if you allow your head to look back, look forward, turning the head to allow your eyes to travel. Yeah? Finishing up, coming back to center, and shaking the legs out like you're shaking cat litter off your paws. Yeah? Another forward fold, just easy bending the knees, hanging down, massaging the legs, relaxing the shoulders, letting the head hang like a rag doll. Yeah, how are we doing so far? Coming up, back to standing. All right, one more thing I wanted to practice here before we move on is mini squats. First, practice with the feet flat on the floor and the heels on the floor. As you squat, just a tiny bit, keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. So rather than sinking forward into the knees and just placing your whole weight forward, rather than hinging forward from the hips, like you would maybe coming into the chair pose like that, right? We want to keep our upper body vertical. So you can see this wall behind me, and I'm going to imagine that I put my back up against that line. Yeah, and then when I'm bending my knees, I keep my shoulders back. Say hi to Rosie. Yeah? Once you get a nice little squat without changing the angle of your torso, you can come up on the balls of the feet a little bit and do micro squats here. You know, if your knees especially are a little bit of an issue, toot a tiny bit or just maybe balance them more without necessarily bending and straightening the legs. So the goal is not to abuse the knees in any way. The goal is to use our core to maintain the verticality of the torso while adding a little balancing element. Now, if your knees are healthy and your legs are strong, you can go down a little bit more, almost all the way down to your heels if you like, and then coming up. But again, you want to make sure that you're maintaining this nice vertical spine as you're doing this without coming forward, leaning back, or doing anything to drift off that center balance. Yeah? Oh, that really fires up the legs. Do the cat litter shake off. And another forward fold from the hips with the knees bent. Massage the quads. We fire them up. Massage the calves. We fire them up. Hanging down the head. Relax. And then coming up. And I have one more challenge for you. We will add a little twist to this. Yes. So again, practice with the heels on the floor first. Bring your giant beach ball. And as you come into a mini squat, maintaining that vertical spine, twist a little bit to your side. And then twist a little bit to the other side. Exhaling and zipping up your core. Yeah, zipping up your core. Looking around for added challenge, or you can keep looking forward and straight center if you need that little anchor of the gaze. And the ultimate challenge is to do that while balancing on the balls of the feet. That same technique where we don't necessarily, when we bend the knees a little bit and lift the heels up, we don't change the level. We keep our height, we grab our big beach ball, and then as we exhale and do a mini squat, we twist, keeping our spine vertical. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Yeah. And again, if the knees are healthy, you can go down a little lower, a little lower, a little lower, all the way down to a squat. And then come up and corkscrew yourself out. And then corkscrew yourself in. Yeah. And then finishing up, releasing the heels, shaking the cat and the rock, and forward folding, massaging our legs, hanging the head, and relaxing for a moment. All right. And before we come back to the floor and wind down a little bit, let's do some compensation and rehabilitation for our joints. Starting with the ankles, just standing on one leg, you can hold on to a wall or a chair as you turn the ankle around a little bit, pointing and flexing the foot. And then just kind of swing the knee a little bit. And again, you can be holding onto a support or challenge your balance. And then add a hip swing. Swinging the hip. So the joints benefit from both compression and the kind of loose swinging. And you give your joints basically a taste of everything a joint is meant to have in life. Yeah. And then do the same on the other side. Do a little ankle circle. Point and flex. Kick the ball. Very loose. Yeah. And then hip swing. Just swinging, loose, relaxed, like a pendulum. Very good. And then let's come down to the floor and continue with a little wind down. And stretch the joints a little bit too. Yeah. Make your way down to the ground. Your yoga mat or your yoga carpet. And just sit for a moment with your knees bent. And bend your knees enough for them to come up to your chest. And if you have a dog butt in your way, just give it a good squish. Yes. A good squish to the doggy butt. And then grabbing onto the toes. You want another one? Rosie gets very excited when there's yoga dancing going on. Hold on to your feet and give yourself a little pull forward. Yeah. I know, I love you too. I love you too. All right. And then we'll do a little easy stretching for our legs. Let's join our heels together and leaning onto our hands, scooch the pelvis forward a little into the butterfly here or the cobbler pose. And just do a little easy rocking. to stretch the inner thighs. And open up your feet like a book. So try not to press the feet together. See how that closes the knees up? Open the feet, the inner edges of the feet like a book. Yeah. And then spread the legs wide, still leaning onto your hands, and lift the chest. Start walking in a little bit, trying to roll the pelvis a little bit more onto the pubic bone and onto the sitting bones, while stacking the shoulders a little bit more over the hips. Point and flex here as you give this whole pose your presence, some long exhalations. Long exhalations, just grounding. And then use your hands for more grounding. Just rubbing down the legs, milking down from the hip to the ankle, from the hip to the ankle, down the front, down the inside, down the outside. Yeah. All right, let's do each leg with both hands. Turn to your left, for example. Have a hand on either side of it, and then go down and down and down. And the knee could be bent as much as is comfortable for you, so you feel like you're reaching far enough. And then turn to your right leg, and with firm pressure, Good. And then let's come onto our back on the floor. So as you lie back on the floor, grab the knees in and massage your back a little bit with some rocking side to side. Circling around, holding onto the knees, clockwise, counterclockwise a little bit. Massaging the low back and sacrum. And then some egg beaters too. Still holding on to the knees. Yeah. And then lots of pulsing of the knees in and out. Inhale out, exhale in, pulse, pulse. Another half a minute just resting, recovering. And then straighten your left leg on the floor, holding onto your right. And give that right leg some circles in its hip socket. Continue lengthening the exhale. Use soft ujjayi breathing. And holding onto behind the knee, straighten as much as it does, bend in as much, and then pulse. Inhale, straighten and flex. Exhale, bend and pulse. A few more times on the side. And then before we move on, we'll do an easy one-side twist. So put your right foot to the floor and bring the arms wide. Inhale, open the knee to the right, turn the head to the left. Exhale, twist a little bit to the left while you turn the head to the right. Like that on the same side a few times. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Long exhalation. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So straighten your right leg, grab in the left, and first do just some easy circles, holding on to the leg in both directions, getting a feel for the hip joint. So this time here after our yoga dance really helps the nervous system to process those new experiences you had, build a kind of relationship of trust, and expand the vocabulary, so to speak, of your body. And holding on to behind the thigh, inhale, straighten, flex. Exhale, bend in and pulse. And you can always add a little extra rub to that hamstring. And I like to use my leg as leverage to pull my arms forward, just kind of pushing the leg down into my clasped fingers. And that pulls my arms forward. It gives me a nice little stretch across the upper back, and I can turn my head side to side and add a little bit more sensation there. Yeah. And then we'll do that easy twist. There you go. Opening the arms wide, open. The knee to the left, head to the right. Exhale, twist to the right, head to the left. And just roll back and forth with a long exhale to twist, with a nice deep inhale to center and open. And then finish up with a nice long Apanasana, holding onto the knees. Maybe turning the head side to side a little bit longer here as we hug and pulse. And then inhale out, exhale in. Pulse, pulse. Inhale out, exhale in. Yeah. And relax, relax, relax. Relax. You can come into constructive rest pose with the knees bent, feet apart, or full Shavasana mode. Or just throw your legs up on the nearest wall or up on the chair to elevate them. Or come into a butterfly as you relax. And just spend a couple of minutes processing your experiences in the practice today. Checking in with your body and creating a kind of mental map of what you feel, where you feel, that back on the floor, those hips, the neck and shoulders. Give your body weight into the gravity and just melt into the floor. And you can stay and relax some more, or you can come up and turn on your favorite music and do a little bit of dancing on your own, your favorite dance style. Leave in a comment below if you like to dance and what your favorite dance style is. My favorite dance is Argentinian tango, but I also dabble a little bit into salsa and bachata. And I'll see you maybe on the dance floor when this coronavirus lockdown is over. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.